Hi there, thanks for joining me again. This is Scott from Wessex Blades. I've got a head torch review coming now. This was sent to me from Tiny Lamplight. They're available on Amazon. And as ever, I gave the supplier fair warning that whatever specifications or limitations that it's got to drop in height or waterproof effectiveness, I'm going to be putting this thing through the ringer. So if it says it can be dropped from 1 meter, I'll drop it from 2. It's that sort of review. It's going to stand up to what I'm going to throw at it, or it's not. So here we go in terms of what you get in the pack, and then we'll have a bit of a test with the actual performance, and we'll see how it goes. So the actual headlamp that you get from Tiny Lamplight, it's in the price range where you're finding other competitors that range from £11 to £23. I've had a look on Amazon, and they're all of the same ilk in terms of the performance of the capsule being a sort of hardened plastic with the headband going around the back, without the top skull, bit of flexible elastic there. So it's literally just the band. There are more options, as I say, below it, and there's a few options above it in terms of price, but with this one in the middle we should get a fair idea of how it performs compared to everything else, and let's give it a go. So it says it's got 5 settings, and for me the important thing about having a headlamp, I've done headlamps in the past, and if you haven't got a red setting, there's nothing worse than having a headlight shining you in the face. So I'll get the batteries in, and we'll go and give this thing a bit of a run for its money. So up close, the actual capsule. The whole thing in itself is quite light. Got a headband there of adjustable cleats, so it goes right down. It does actually say it's okay for children, and you can see that the straps there go down to quite a small diameter. So yes, it is adjustable down to the size of a minor. The back plate here is rigid plastic, and here I'm going to put it up against something I've already reviewed, which is a through night. This thing here is a rubbery, so in terms of comfort on your head, I think initially that might actually feel more comfortable on the front of your skull, and it does have a top band. But the major failing of the through night was it had no red function. This one says it's got a red function, so let's open it up. Okay, and inside you've got the alignment areas for the cells to go in. So I've got one that way, one the other way, and then one the other way. Okay, it didn't go in like a big positive click, but it says it's waterproof. So okay, first button gives us red, and you've got 2 LEDs, one over side of the central point there. That's pretty bright enough for map reading, seeing yourself around a campfire without dazzling your mates. Okay, second press gives you flashing red. That's off. Okay, now the other side, you've got 2 sided rubbery buttons there. Okay, so the first press, the light is a cool cold blue one. You know, you get some that are termed of warm or neutral. This is definitely one of those icy blue tints, sort of moods. So that's the first setting. Okay, the first setting that come on was the high, then there's a little medium and a strobe. High, medium and strobe. Can't access a low, so it's quite Yes, that's painful to look at. And then next one, and then our strobe. So that's your 5 functions: high, low, and a strobe on each. So you got red on, red strobe, so that could be like an emergency setting, high, low, and strobe. So that's your 5 settings. Okay, now the reason I've pulled that off is just to see how it's mounted, and the elastic, if I come into the camera, goes through these slots, and so once you put some stress on it, if you got it snagged on a branch and you pull it, it would drop and get pulled out. So I'll have to try and put that back in again now. So odd way of doing it. So if you pull it, it actually comes off the band. Okay, right. So if you're walking along at night and you get it snagged on a branch, you'll have to feel it getting caught up, because if you carry on walking that extra half a step, you'll pull it off and it'll drop on the floor. Okay, let's see if it's waterproof. Now, IPX6 is what's stated as the waterproof rating of the torch. Now that's powerful jets from any direction on the enclosure for 3 minutes. So basically I'm thinking hose pipe. So let's get the strobe going. Put it up there. Well, that's good enough for me. The other safety specification says was dropped from 1.5 meters. Let's try 3. Been off the strap, but still working. So put it back on the strap. Oh, it's come off the back plate. Not a problem. Backplate didn't break, it just popped off. Just comes off the backplate. Try once more. Let's try 4. And it opened. So yeah, 3 meters I reckon that cope with. 4 meters, it popped open. That's definitely up to what it says at 1.5 meters. That's interesting. There is water actually inside it, but that's only the battery housing. Could actually have another seal inside, so well, give it the benefit of the doubt, still kept working. That's me, got it wrong, right? Okay, got both running at once now. Okay, there's light. I think that's batteries moving around inside. Okay, there's water actually visible inside the lens by the look of it. Still working. All that is the batteries become dislodged inside. So if you were a bit fastidious about it, if you put a thin piece of rubber there and then closed the back, the batteries wouldn't. Can you hear it in the back? I think that's where it starts reaching the limits of its drop. Yeah. So it seems to have a real struggle with strength of the batteries staying in position. Yeah, he just wants to fall out now. There it is. Still operation. Sorry, it's still operating. But there's definitely water inside the lens. And the switches have stopped working now. And now it's given up. So, wait. Now the switch is broken on the LEDs. So that's where it starts pegging out. And therein is the rationale behind my testing. It coped admirably about 3 drops. The side for the white is still running, but the LED button is now not turning off at all. So it'll take 3 or 4 drops, but it won't take 12 to 15 drops. Water is definitely inside the lens, but it was still running. So it's not that it'll fail with water inside it, it will still run. But I'm not, that hose pipe isn't really high power. That's only a very small bore hose pipe, so it will work when it's wet. But I don't think the housing is got that much integrity, to be quite honest. So that's my review until a point where there's enough failure for me not to really bother carrying on. So that's a tiny headlamp. Switch failed. On the LED red, still working, still functional. But, I might be able to tinker with it, but until then, full marks of them actually sending it to me. Right, it's off now. So still perfectly functional on the white side, but when the red one goes on, it'll take ages to go off. But anyway, that's Scotland Wessex Blades 8. It did pretty well, but water's got in it, and it couldn't take too many drops. And also, that's a bit of a sweetener, I'm guessing. You get one of these little Keychain lights. So let's get into it and see if that works. It could be a press to make it, a press to make switch on it. Okay, now we're finally in. Okay, is it a press to make? Yes, it's a press to make. So it's just something to go on your keychain. It's probably got a couple of those little watch batteries in with sort of universal jump ring and clasp. Just wonder how strong it is, because you know what it's like on your key ring. Yeah, so I would initially put that onto there. I forget about the extra jump ring because that wasn't much to make it come out, but for a freebie, well, it's worth £1, isn't it? Just to let your kids play with, or put it on your keychain just to find stuff in the car. But it's a bonus extra. But yeah. Wonder if this is waterproof. Now, all I'm, in all fairness, expecting this to do is to take a plunge in the pool. I take it out, and if it still works, that's not bad for a freebie. So, dropped it in the puddle. So, anyway, the bonus. Yeah, not too bad. Dropped on the floor. Dropped on the floor. And a third drop. That was my height, so 5.5, 6 feet. So, not going to fall apart in 5 minutes. Not bad freebie. And the lights have come back on again. Switch fail. Are the seagulls laughing? I think they are.